Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for showing up today. We're going to get started pretty soon here. My name is Trav, and we have Alex coming up shortly here. We're going to let a few more people pile in, and then we're going to get the show on the road here. So grab some snacks, grab some coffee, sit back, relax, and we will be right with you. Excellent. I do see Alex has arrived. Alex, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. And again, everyone, we're going to get started very soon. We are going to allow a few more people to show up, and then we'll get the ball rolling here. Hang tight. We'll be right there with you. Wonderful, wonderful. And for anyone else who's here, I'll just ask that you please remain on mute just so we don't have any interference during the conversation. And we'll try and be as concise and efficient as humanly possible during this time. So yeah, we will be.
Can you hear me? 1, 2, 3.
Loud and clear, Alex.
Good.
Can you
Thank
hear
you.
me, my friend?
Going back on mute. Sorry for interrupting you. Thanks.
Hey, no stress at all, man. No stress at all. We're going to give people about a minute and a half more time to show up, and then we're going to get the show on the road. How's that sound to you, Alex?
Your lead here, man.
Perfect. Happily so. All right, everyone, you've got 45 seconds, and then we're going to get the ball rolling here. Chat with you very, very soon. All right. Welcome, everyone. My name is Trav. With us today, we have Alex, the CEO and founder of Tectum. And let me just tell you real quick about what this is all about today. So this is going to be one of our community AMAs, and we're going to start the conversation by just dropping some insight, dropping some updates on what's happening with Tectum, which is of course exclusive to our Telegram community, of course. And then we're gonna field some questions. So start thinking about some questions, anything that might pop up to your mind. We have Alex here. We're going to be here for about half hour or so, maybe a little bit longer, seeing how things go. And our purpose is to answer as many possible questions as we can here. So with saying all of that, Alex, how are you today, my friend?
Fantastic, man. Thanks for hosting us today, and ready to answer all your questions, team.
Hey, absolute pleasure to be here with you today there, Alex. And thank you everyone for showing up. It means a lot that you're taking the time out of your day to come spend with us, to look more into Tectum, to be a part of this movement, to be a part of this project. And we very much appreciate every single one of you here. So maybe to get the ball rolling, Alex, maybe I know firsthand now that you guys have been working extremely hard with all of the new updates that have been happening with Tectum. Maybe you can give us a quick bit of insight on what that's been like for you, and if there's any announcements that you want to drop to our community here before we get into the questions.
Well, first of all, before I get into announcements, I just want to give a general overview of what's really been happening, because sudden success came to us in 2023 after 2 years of struggling with SoftNote, which is the actual implementation of Tectum blockchain. And when we listed our token on July 3rd, we realized that community is actually very excited and are excited about developments we have been going on. We also discovered that the community is actually more excited. As in community, it is easier for community to get involved in developments when they participate in company events and token related events. And that's what really dropped us in 2023. Though SoftNote was not necessarily positioned as a pro Bitcoin and their Bitcoin Maxi product, although actually by nature it was, we have instantly developed a polarity in our community, which expressed itself in a group of people who gravitated towards extreme maximization, Bitcoin maxis, which where we were actually, and a group of people who started advising us to go towards developing commercial product, commercial implementations, which is more a Ripple scenario. And the entire year 23 was actually consumed by decision making and up game. When we entered year 2024, the C level and the management level was finally formed, and there are lots of Web3 professionals entered the team. So while me being an engineer, relatively new to the space, because my background is from Web2 space, contracts, performance, KPIs, and all that kind of stuff. So to me, it was very new. So year 2022 was our scale up and learning year. And we made some mistakes. We got lots of job done. I guess the biggest downdraft from year 2024 is that we weren't able to release 4.0 public blockchain. While it's easy is to blame the team for it, but in reality, we have developed a line item of solutions which actually in the future is going to propel us into the top tier of blockchains this civilization has ever able to develop. We already started working on a 5.0 model because we understand that the future of decentralization is going to be about adopting certain, developing certain properties which cannot be adopted by current architectures, like validation types, conventional types of validation, like a blockchain 4.0, all this disruptiveness, and as fast as it will become within the next 3-4 months, still uses conventional validation process and conventional blockchain ledger management process. Blockchain 5.0 will be completely different animal. So the year 22 was dedicated to looking for long-term solutions. Year 2025, we entered with this whole new chain of events, market collapse. We finally rolled out blockchain 4.0, and it's actually functioning pretty well, just certain functions like tokenization and stuff, which devs are catching up with, but it's stable. So when we talk, having said all that, Trev, when you asking the question about announcements and developments, I can talk about right now here is that guys, there is just so many. Today we rolled out Tectum Loyalty, which is a great product for those who really care about community, who really care about the product. It will allow people to actually rewards and actively participate and educate themselves about the product. We are finalizing contactless payment. Contactless payment will make any cell phone a electronic point of sale, which means anybody in the world will be able to accept 10 cents worth payment in Bitcoin on the street without carrying around with them heavy bank terminal and without accepting debit cards. We finishing up green model, which is our wrap model, which will allow zero commission liquidity provision, basically zero commission on-ramp, off-ramp process, which actually is going to lower the entry cost for beginners down to zero. Imagine how easy it is going to be for a guy who just has no idea what SoftNote is. Knowing everything about Tectum doesn't constitute that you're going to like SoftNote as a product. Tectum is a technology, SoftNote is a product. So of the people who will come in, they're going to want to test the product. And SoftNote is an excellent way to understand what blockchain was really invented for. And our model will allow absolute zero fee commission on board, off board. Well, obviously, you're going to have to pay a level 1 commission when you deposit your original funds. When you transfer your Bitcoin or whatever crypto you transfer in Tectum wallet, obviously you're going to pay legacy network commission. That Bitcoin network will still tax you. But as soon as your funds are inside of Tectum network, you're immune. You become immune commissions. That's a huge leap forward, Trev. Because as soon as we announce zero fee and zero entry costs for beginners, people will flow in. In a few months, we will finalize Tectum Earn, which is finally going to put a reward on the table of those who actually minted SoftNotes and who actually provided liquidity for SoftNotes. We've had some delays, and I'm not doubting that, and I'm not refusing to admit so, but things are getting done. and more things are getting done than actually we actually promised and committed to. Our processing is 2 months away, 2 months away. As soon as green model is completed, and as soon as zero fee money in and out is on ramp of rent, which is still burn, the same thing. As soon as that is functioning, and as soon as green model goes live, we are kicking in and building API for payment processing, which puts us on a pool of guys who provide wholesale remittance services to banks, restaurants, and large commercial organizations. Partnerships. We in talks of Ripple, we in talks of OKX, just signed a deal with a very interesting operator before last night. To refresh my memory, who is that? Yeah, yeah.
Brick chain something. Wow, I'm drawing a blank as well. I know we were just talking about this, but my mind's starting to get a little.
So Sophie, who are these guys? They have such a cool real estate monetization model.
Yeah, I do remember. Yeah, it was RWA based technology. But Jeff, if Sophie is here, if anyone's able to kind of help us out with this.
Yeah, let me look. I just keep forgetting the name. There.
Absolutely, and while you're looking there, Alex, I just kind of want to prime. Yeah,
prop chain.
Okay.
Prop chain. Yeah, RW, real world asset tokenization. They want to tokenize on our network, and list goes on. I've been posting. I took a liberty of micro announcements starting this week in our general chat. I thought it would really help community to kind of micromanage the process and see what's really going on. And with this, I will pass the microphone back to you and see if teams got questions for us.
Sounds wonderful, Alex. First of all, I really appreciate you taking the time to share that with us. And if I may, what I'm taking away from this is your vision is a long-term one. The last couple of years have spent truly laying the foundation of all things that is Tectum, SoftNote, all of the products you're building. And now is the time to bring all of this into fruition. And not only have you spent this entire time learning and adapting and evolving, you're really not only building these technologies in ways that are actually practical, you're not only making incredible partnerships and in talks with some mega huge names out there right now. Like I know you mentioned OKX and Ripple, which are absolutely massive, but you're adapting to the times and you're adapting to the needs. And not only that, but you're bringing the community right along for the ride and rewarding their patience and not allowing that sounds, that's not the right word, but bringing them along for the ride and working together to make the most practical, sustainable, solution-driven projects you could possibly can here. So thank you so much for taking the time to share your experience with us. I'm gonna send the mic back over to you, Alex, in a quick second. But before I do want to invite the audience. The purpose of this conversation is to connect with you. So feel free to start raising hands. If you guys do have any questions you'd like to share with us, if you do have any comments you'd like to share, now is your opportunity. As soon as I start seeing some hands, I will get you guys up on the stage. So feel free. And in the meantime here, while we are waiting, you mentioned some upcoming partnerships with some pretty huge names. And you also mentioned the loyalty program is going to be rolled, or it's already been rolled out, and announcements will be made very, very soon here. No, I just wanted to give you an opportunity to tell us a little bit about anything else that the audience might be excited about coming up over the next couple of weeks, just until we start getting some hands here. So I'm going to send the mic back over to you, and let me know what you think. I definitely threw a lot out there, so where are you at? And not only have you spent this entire time learning and adapting and evolving, you're really not only building these technologies in ways that are actually practical, you're not only making incredible partnerships and in talks with some mega huge names out there right now. Like I know you mentioned OKX and Ripple, which are absolutely massive, but you're adapting to the times and you're adapting to the needs.
The entire a set of goals down to literally 3-4 points. A, credibility. For example, partnership of big dogs, guys who are bigger than me, who have more credibility in Web3 space, will add credibility to us. So obviously partnerships are good, or they might, obviously they're better for smaller guys, but big guys also extract certain purpose, because first they get paid for services provided to smaller parties. Second, they scale up better utilizing technologies of smaller guys. Okay, like for example, integrating of network to the DEX will greatly increase their chances to capture part of the audience, which is in between commission models and transaction structures, Solanas and ERC20, for example, Uniswaps. Tectum offers a little bit deeper. First, a predictable fee structure is going to look attractive to institutional players, because institutional trading is all about predictability. B, lower commission. We can actually offer zero commission for a certain period of time. We can easily do that without sacrificing much of our value. Do a promotional 9 month zero commission period, which will serve them good. It will show the true performance of Tectum network, and it will help us scale up, put some traffic, put our network through the test, and show everybody that Tectum is really what they're talking about. And obviously, I'm not talking about credibility. We're actually planning building our own DEX, but our own DEX idea, the thought, the planning was kind of revolved around SynthesNode. And SynthesNode is a Ripple wallet, right? Since SynthesNode is a Ripple wallet, it opens up completely different set of opportunities to arbitrage trading, besides the stabilizing properties of SynthesNode. So we were thinking of merging those two directions into one. But now that we're looking at guys who are openly talking about integration, we might move it to the next year. We would rather dedicate our resources into finishing up Tectum 4.0 and utilize capabilities of T12 protocol on somebody else's DEX. You see, at this point in time, it started making more sense to us. Then what else? SynthesNode, we've been working on SynthesNode. However, SynthesNode, technologically, SynthesNode is a triple wallet SoftNote. It can be managed by a centralized network. It can be managed by decentralized network. But if it is managed by centralized network, then there arises a question of custodianship. Operations like Ripple, Aquanal, and a few others provide excellent solutions for custody. Model needs, it would look better and it would function better if reliable third party handles the custody of master wallets. If some of you don't understand how green model works, feel free to ask me a question, but otherwise I'm not going to go too deep into of what custodianship of a green model custodianship works. I can only say that we have developed our own proprietary hybrid custodianship model, which is implemented on paper. It's in works. We just need to have a right place to put it in. What else? Let community ask me questions. There's been so much talk about this, and everybody's quiet. What's going on?
Absolutely, yes. No, I think, I'm not sure if it's a technological question. Oh my goodness here. Let's try that again. I'm not sure if people are just not willing to actually speak right now, but I did invite the audience to start writing their questions in the general chat. And we do have a bunch coming in here. So I'm just going to start from the top and start sending them your way here. So the first one here, it's from Zito, and I apologize if I misspelled or mispronounced your name. He wants me to ask you about the MEV bot and what actions we can take now.
Well, first of all, I'm not throwing any accusations at anybody in particular because by nature, MEV bot is a smart contract, decentralized app. So there is no, you got to be an intelligence agency to really somebody hit it on the head. We don't know. We have no way of knowing who is doing that. But overall trend is to do it to manage MEV bots as community, which means when new token hits the market, and you see, Tectum token is not the only one who's suffering from MEV bots. MEV bots is a plague of, it's only going to get worse. MEV bot is a parasitic software which has several different strategies, but what it does reads or creates or fabricates fake signals. For example, it's really easy if you have 3 years worth of 3 years worth of Python, and I'm not a programmer, so I can only speak it from chats and what I heard and what I know because I'm an engineer, so I can speak from engineering point of view. I'm incapable. I don't have skills to write software. I want everybody to know that from get go. MEVBot, for example, you have a chart and you have a low liquidity asset, and the guy writes the software which creates orders which that bot actually never intends to fulfill. So therefore, it creates a, for example, big red line up. For example, excessive order in your chart, which triggers other bots to sell because when your red cup size of our sell orders goes up, that means there is going to be a dump in half a minute, in a minute, half an hour, doesn't matter. Bots know it better than us. So other bots read that and they start dumping. Token price goes down, and at that point, MEVBot buys. So basically, MEVBot fabricates fake conditions for an asset to be either purchased or sold by other communities. It is designed to manipulate community because it knows the algorithm of other bots. It knows that other bots, for example, have a stop loss at whatever percent, and it triggers their algorithm. So human beings don't actually participate in that. And when other part of the community start dumping, that may have bot buys. Then when people dump for a certain period of time, those bots, they stop dumping because they realize that signal was fake. It was, it's not triggered by any announcements. There is no market dump. Donald Trump did not say anything bad about Treasury. Bitcoin did not go down. Elon Trump didn't have a heart attack. Everything is good. So what do? They start buying. Token price goes up. MEVBot starts selling. That's how that malicious software design. This is just one of the strategies. I'm not a MEVBot professional, but just due to complications of current market, me and my team were forced to learn how that software operates. How do you deal with them? Well, there is 2 ways of dealing with them. 3. A, institutional buy, which is a big buyback, and you withdraw, you dry market, you red market of your tokens by either initiating medium or large institutional purchases, which token price, or B, you increase of your liquidity pool, which we have done 3 months ago. I actually put $2 million of my own money into our joint liquidity pool with Russell. We have almost 50-50. He's got 48% of which is actually my liquidity, and 52% of our liquidity. When you increase the liquidity of your liquidity pool, it becomes harder for MEVBots to operate because they need to put in much more effort to trigger the dump. You know what I mean, Trev?
You're almost
If
buffering the liquidity.
yeah, buffering the liquidity, it takes much more effort, and they kind of bail out because they lose interest. Because you got to understand that these are margin-driven algorithms. They are not humans. They are not driven by emotion. As soon as it costs them a little bit too much money to trigger, they lose interest to your asset and they just shift to another token. We did that and it worked. It actually worked. If you remember, after we see doubling a liquidity pool did not give us pump, it gave us stability. That's the second way of doing that. The third way of doing it, the third way of mitigating MEV-bot danger is building your own MEV-bot, which works with zero margin. And your MEV-bot undercuts their MEV-bot. And your MEV-bot obviously does the same thing their MEV-bot does, which involves intense due diligence, which we're not necessarily competent of doing because we are software team, we are not trading team. Plus, MEV-bots are not exactly legal. So that third scenario, we're not actually willing to take because then it's kind of like trying to mitigate crime by murdering criminals on the street. It's like yes, it's like fighting evil with an evil. So that first scenario is not really our cup of tea. We have tried scenario B, which is we double the liquidity pool, and we started buyback, which should be added to our dashboard page, which should be already because it was Monday. Was supposed to be added on Monday. I don't know if it's added or not. Our team lead is here. We can ask him. Alex Osipov, are you here?
Scanning through our guests here now.
Yeah, we can ask him, but I've been so busy I have not looked. If it's not added, will be added tonight or tomorrow. It's just a line item. It's another account which we dedicated to buyback, and every time our accounts buy tokens back, we throw them back and we convert them. We migrate them back into T12, and it shows every increase in balance. Because community keeps asking, the problem with us proving buyback last time was because I was doing it personally on my CX accounts. Now I go into my BitGet account, and they don't provide printouts. They don't give you. There is no function. That mobile app doesn't have that function. So I had a choice of. Well, it wasn't only me. It was our team who conducted trading also. So overall amount was about right. I think I mentioned it on one of our AMAs. But the problem was that it was done via exchange accounts. So what we did, we did that account, added to the dashboard, and threw all these tokens which were purchased back to that account, so community can go and look at dashboard page and see the overall buyback amount on the page. So it should be there because they've said it's going to be there this Monday, so which is 2 days ago. So if they said it's going to be there, then it's there.
Awesome. And just to clarify, you said that's the that'll be data for the community to be able to track how much of the TET token is being bought back. Is that right?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. No, Alex, thank you so much. I certainly learned a lot there about MEV bots. I had a rudimentary understanding, but now I definitely understand a lot more clearly. And also the tactics that you took to kind of help protect the ecosystem, like TET token in general, definitely makes sense. And I'm really happy to hear that worked as well. So it's off to you, my friend, and really appreciate you sharing that. We do have the questions are absolutely piling in now. In respects to time, I'm going to choose the questions that have the most reactions on them, just because that shows me what questions are most relevant to our audience right now here. And the first one I want to bring up here, Alex, and I know we spoke ahead of time and you're not at all going to shy away from the tough questions. The one that I am seeing here, hold on, sorry, I've a little bit lost here, is, where is it? Here we go. Finding it right now. Yeah, it's multiple questions about updates about the wallets. Please, it was promised. Also more elaboration about stolen private keys with liquidity of Russell. And along the same notes, it talked about the private key that Russell is holding, meaning we do not have access as well, holding our funds. Is he planning to give it back, or is there concern or running with the bags? So I'm personally not fully versed in what's going on with this situation here, Alex. But these ones definitely
I don't I
were.
don't I don't think I don't believe I understood that question. This slang is too complicated for me. Can I get it get it in layman's terms?
Sure. So basically, the community is asking about the private key that Russell is, and then something about holding.
Russell, yeah, Russell, when from a liquidity pool. Liquidity pool by itself does not really have a private key. The private key is from a wallet which contributes to liquidity pool. And Russell was my CEO. Actually took a liberty upon himself to open liquidity pool and to dedicate funds which came from a launchpad, which was whatever 100 something efforts plus our tokens. And he kept a private key. So it was 2023. I had no idea how liquidity operates, pool operates. So when he got fired, I requested those private keys back, and he demanded tokens unlocked. I said, I can't unlock your tokens because I have $2.5 million in Tectum tokens paid out to unidentified accounts of KOLs, which he successfully managed to send out from my accounts, which was significant amount of money. And he refused to report to me, him and his team, because I fired the entire team in one day. And I'm not gonna list these guys. It's Web3 space. Every dog's got their day. So their day is coming. I'm not here to judge them. There is no way. It's Web3 space. There is nothing can be done unless he just himself. Even if I file litigation against that team, what am I gonna say in court? And what court? What am I gonna fly to London, up and say this guy is holding $2.5 million of my funds? The judge is gonna say what accounts? I'm gonna say this public key, and he's gonna ask me a simple question: how can you prove that it's his ERC20 wallet? You see, that's the catch about Web3 space. We should really talk about Web3 space rather than taking personal turns and talking to personally about some people, because every one of these people will really actually found his own destiny in this world. Because you see, Web3 space is all about reputation. Through last 2 years, I hired and fired hundreds of people. Most of them I've never met on my face. I've never seen their documents. Trev, I don't even know their phone numbers. They show their channel. The only thing you see, you don't even know their names most of the time. All you see is their Telegram and their statistics. You see their stats. If guy performs, you pay him to promote your project. And that's Web3 space. So the only thing really goes for him is his reputation. So therefore, if you lose your reputation in Web3 space, you lost everything you had. There is nothing else. What you're gonna do? Just keep changing your Telegram ID and keep migrating and keep changing personality and keep impersonating other characters. It cannot go forever. Web3 space is very unforgiving. Therefore, I'm not really concerned. So what actually happened was that the former team refused to prove me where that money went. I ordered the T12 accounts to be blocked. Since Tectum 3.0 is a private blockchain, it was possible. So I have not blocked the accounts. I have blocked migration into ERC20. And everybody here knows that it is possible, and it was a built-in feature in order to prevent unprecedented migrations and dumps ERC20 network. And these deals were negotiated ahead of time, and the terms were between a year to 2 years with some entities and or people. And the former management team refused to report where that money went. Therefore, I've ordered the accounts to be blocked for migration. And as a revenge, they just to surrender my funds, my private key. That's all the story. But I don't think they can withdraw those funds because that liquidity pool is locked, or maybe it's already unlocked. But double the liquidity. So even if they're in a very at a very strange predicament right now. If they withdraw these funds, that's gonna make them embezzlers and thieves.
Understood.
Now it's gonna become a crime. So they cannot really withdraw these funds, and they are not willing to surrender these funds to me. So it's actually them who are at predicament, not me, because I have doubled the liquidity pool. Even if they withdraw those, what it's like 1.2, 1.5 million, because market is down, their share is like something over a million. Okay, they will withdraw the funds. The full liquidity will be cut in half. Is it gonna do anything to token chart? I don't think so.
Understood. Understood. No, I just want to appreciate our sense of appreciation that this is certainly a sensitive topic, and understandably so. It's a concern from our community, and I appreciate you talking about it so candidly. It definitely seems like a very unique situation.
I have nothing to be. I have nothing to fear. Everything. I'm doing everything right. I spent 7 years. I sold my property. I sold all my crypto to feed my team. I spent at least a year and a half of empty refrigerator in 2019 when COVID started in 2020. And now that I finally got to the point where we are fully invested in infrastructure, we're getting hit. Come on, look back at Solana.
This is a fucking scam.
Oh, sorry about that, Alex. I think someone just went off mute there for a sec. I will ask kindly everyone who's here with us, if you did have something that you wanted to mention, if you don't mind raising your hand first, just so that we can continue the flow of the conversation. More than welcome to step up and share some questions.
He won't. He's a coward. He can only install, then he's gonna hide it. He's a coward. He will not say anything. He's got nothing to say. Absolutely got nothing to say.
Completely fair. Completely fair. Nope, that's very well said there. Very well said. Wonderful, friends. Perfect. Alex, I just want to touch base with you here real quick. We've been chatting for almost 50 minutes. I just want to see where you're at time-wise, just to get a temperature reading on how much time you have left. And then, yeah, we can take it from there.
All yours, team.
Excellent. Excellent. I'm just going to carry on with a couple more questions here. The other part of that question, and again, I don't fully understand the context in regards to this here, is updates about the wallets. Do you know what this is in reference to, Alex?
We have run into contactless payment integration, Android to Android and iOS to iOS. iOS to iOS, we wrestled down. It was an AirTag problem because at the beginning, I'm talking about when you want to transfer SoftNote, make a SoftNote payment from iPhone to iPhone. That took us about 3 weeks, and now we're finishing up Android to Android, because Android to Android also displayed similar problems, but with different nature. When you have an older version of Android and a newer version of the Android, the payment feature is not executing the same way as the newer version, and we had to do some playing around with the module. That is being tested. Hopefully in 2-3 weeks you guys will be able to do absolutely physical contactless SoftNote payment. I'm talking about $1 cup of coffee. Boom, boom. You touch another phone, you click accept the payment, 1, 2, 3, done. Then we made some rearrangements with Note Merchant. We decided that instead of releasing yet another mobile app, we will integrate SoftNote Pay feature into a regular wallet, and we will start working on a separate, isolated SoftNote Merchant wallet. Why do we need a separate SoftNote Merchant wallet? Is because SoftNote Merchant wallet has a totally different set of features and properties. SoftNote Merchant allows you, for example, you have a chain of restaurants, right? And you have 10 waitresses per restaurant. So you have 20 restaurants multiplied by 10 waitresses. That's 200 terminals. They have client accounts, and you need to have a super admin control over their accounts where they would accept SoftNote payments, but they will not see general account, and they will not be able to withdraw funds from any accounts. Actually, in fact, they will not have function to mint. They will not have function to burn. Only you as an admin account. That requires building advanced UX and trying to incorporate it into regular SoftNote wallet would make interface overly complicated. Too much sophistication, basically, in layman's terms. So we decided to separate those two. That's going to take some time, if that was the nature of your question.
Perfect. Yeah, crystal clear in my perspective, and that does make a lot of sense the way that you're approaching it. Simplicity is often the best way forward here. And yeah, no, I really appreciate you answering that there, Alex. I'm really excited to see all this come to fruition. All this talk is just making me very excited here. How about this, Alex? Let's run it for another about 7 minutes or so. I've got 2 more questions I'd like to ask. These are the 2 most reacted questions that I see in the general chat. And I just want to thank everyone for taking the time to ask your questions and react to those. So the next question that I have here is to talk about the SDK and when will we be able to build tokens on the blockchain?
We need to stabilize the network. The consensus mechanism, we have implemented a reverse back reaction from archiver, from an archiving node, which I'm not going to go into I'm not going to go into technical details, but devs are demanding for another month to get this relationship stabilized, because this consensus is not the same we were originally planning. It's more efficient and it's faster. We are probably going to work for some time to get that optimized and to get it work perfectly. And then we're going to shift to adding features. Luckily, some of these features are already coded. They're ready to be added in. And we need to ask our team lead, not competent in, I don't want to be saying what I really, about things I don't know about fully, but we either going to roll those out on a test net, because we're working on a test net right now. We wanted to do speed test on a test net, but then it wouldn't be fair because that would not reflect the true condition of a main net. We decided to do speed test on a main net right away. But that means we need to write up a component for that, because how you're gonna test the speed, what you're gonna, in order for you to test the speed, you need to, okay, let me explain you. I'll explain you in the layman's terms. You have 1 second of time, and you have 5 nodes, and you have 1 receiving node number 6. So you have 6 wallets, 5 which are sending nodes, and 1 is receiving node. You have 6 guys working on it, testing the network. Now you have these 5 guys sending 5 tokens to recipient node. While they're doing this and while the nodes signing this transaction, yeah, that's him. What's up, man?
Whoa, that's big.
Thank you, Boris.
Can
He's
we
pretty
ask
big, isn't he,
questions?
boy?
Well, let him speak, Trev. I'm trying to figure out who the guy is. I've never met him.
Please, mic is all yours there, Boris. Love to hear from you.
Yeah, go ahead, Boris.
I bought 1,000 coins, but way
Okay.
higher. But why did the price fall so much?
Well, what were
I
you
think
thinking
because
about
of
when
the
you
FUD.
bought them? The entire market is down.
But I think this is the James
Well,
guy online. And will you take legal actions against him?
legal actions against who?
That guy online who's fidding all the time.
Why would I do that?
That's why we dropped.
Oh, well, you Boris, that's Web3 space. When you make purchase, you need to do your due diligence and talk to founders and study the technology. What do you want me to tell you?
Yeah, look, I bought because I saw some messages about buybacks and stuff, but then the price started collapsing even more.
Well, that particular point in time, everybody else's charts started collapsing.
Yeah, I agree, but
See,
you guys said there will be buybacks.
there has been buybacks, but what happened was that the buybacks we conducted were conducted on a network. We weren't ready to. At one point, I went and I bought $300,000 worth of TED, I believe, on BitGet at $21.50, and I did it to show the community that leadership is ready to invest in their own project and do that buyback. I did not realize that to the community is so, how to say, disappointed with the entire Web3 space. It's not that Tectum they're really disappointed with. It's the Web3 space in its entirety is really impossible to manage. So that they started demanding the proof that we did buyback. I said, well, guys, what do you think I'm lying or something? And so I went to my centralized exchange account and I tried to pull the transaction records, and they would not give it to me. I could only do screenshots. So I talked to market makers, and market makers said, Alex, if you do screenshots, they will take it even further. They'll tell that you fabricated those screenshots. You might as well just.
Sorry, also one market maker, I know him. He also sold. His name was Liquidity, and he sold coins at once. Maybe that caused a major drop.
It could. It could. Did he do it before we doubled liquidity pool or after?
I really don't know. The price was, I think, $2, and then it went to 1.1 or so, 1.2.
Boris, this is a catch-22 game. It's like two sides of the coin. If I start saying what I know and what we're planning on doing and what our projections are telling me, that's going to sound like advice. And I'm not eligible to give anybody investment advice, but the overall value of tokens at the market right now is such that we can drive token price up to $100 in 3 weeks.
Really? And that's also what you guys are planning to do, or?
Yes. We're doing this buyback carefully right now. We're just trying to understand the community because the FOD against the project has been so strong lately. You got to understand, Boris. I fired the entire C-level in October, and these are all Web3 guys, and these were.
Oh, wait. Can I ask one more question? A lot
Yeah,
of people
sure.
want to buy want to buy back now that the price is so low.
Mm-hmm.
But are there risks of delisting? Because it's only on 2 big exchanges or 3, and the volume is very low right now.
Eight big exchanges.
Oh, okay.
8 exchanges. No, we don't. Well, first of all, everybody's volumes are down, so it doesn't make any sense for Sexes to delist anyone right now, because delisting normally is caused by really rude violation of policies like liquidity, like when you remove liquidity, remove USDT from your corporate accounts. When liquidity drops, then they look at you like you're trying to rock the project, right? So we're not doing that. We have plenty of liquidity everywhere. A, B, we have developments and announcements going on constantly. We have Telegram group of every one of those exchanges, and we are actually located in Dubai. Actually, any one of you can meet me personally, all I know, if you want to. I show up at every second event in Dubai. I go at interviews. So to think that my team is going to rug the project or by any other means compromise the project, well, you got to be completely out of touch with reality.
Yeah, I also said that most of the employees were AI generated.
Not employees, the KOLs. That are the dead souls I was talking about. We had the reason why we had this. I had a huge remodeling, rehab done on a management level last year, because I have discovered large payouts to KOLs. KOL is a promoter.
Okay.
KOL is the guy or girl who's got their own Telegram channel, or they got their YouTube channel, or they got any kind of, who the hell knows what kind of channel, and they promote your project for reward. Okay. And normally, in order to incentivize them, you pay them in tokens of your project. This way, they are motivated to drive your token up. Because if you pay them in cash, they just take that cash and they go, right?
Yes.
Nothing really prevents them from scamming you, because you don't know their name, you don't have their passport. All you know is their Telegram ID. It's a very, very, very difficult industry. When I entered that industry in 2023, I was like a little baby. I'm looking like everybody's like, oh, pay me $20,000 a month and I'm going to make you a millionaire. I'm like, yeah, I'll give you $20,000 a month. Well, 2 months later, nothing is happening. So I tell a guy, why you're not doing anything? Like, oh, I'm doing. I'm like, no, you're not doing. No,
But
there is
is
no
this also
reaction.
about?
So I stopped. Let me finish. And
Yes,
so I
yes.
stopped paying the guy. Guess what he does? He takes $40,000 or $60,000 worth of my tokens and he dumps them just to
Yeah, that's
pay me back.
crazy.
Pay me back for firing him. So loyalty is a luxury in Web3 space.
With the unique selling point of Tectum is the 3.5 million TPS, right? But Alan Rogers didn't know anything about the 3.5 million TPS. That was kind of weird. Some people were scared of him not knowing about it.
Yeah, I apologize for that. At that time, Alan Rogers just joined the team, or recently joined the team. Alan Rogers is not a technical guy, but Alan Rogers is one of the most loyal and dedicated people I've ever met in my life.
Yes.
He actually moved to Dubai to join events with me, and he did not even ask for a penny to shoot that SoftNote payment video. If you guys remember that SoftNote contactless payment video we shot in November. Like I said, Alan, how much do I owe you? He said, Alex, don't even mention that. So Alan Rogers got lots of things going for him. He just at that time was not aware of that.
Okay, makes sense. Can I ask one last question? Because I have to go.
Oh, sure. Anything.
It's maybe a little bit weird, but there were all kind of stories about you because we didn't hear much lately. And it's great that you're talking right now. But someone was talking about that you all of a sudden were wearing a new Rolex Daytona or so or something like that.
No, I don't have Rolex Daytona. I have just Rolex. What? Is it illegal?
No, it's not illegal, but they were
Alan
thinking
Rogers.
like the
Alan
price was
Rogers.
down and he is now
Alan,
living in a luxurious villa, you know, with a Rolex.
no, I'm not. No, I'm not living in a villa. I'm living in a simple apartment in JBR, not a villa. No, I'm 53 years old, man.
Yeah,
I
I
have
know,
lots
but
of
they
things.
were also posting the villa online in America, right? You're now in Dubai.
No, I don't own property in America, brother. My family lives in America, but we don't own a villa.
I think it was the building of Mind.
Man, you're funny. No, we
I
don't
know.
have building of Chris Mind in America. Sorry, I left.
Okay, okay. Well, I'm
Nothing
going.
offensive. Nothing offensive. Don't take it. Please don't take any offense. Just no. I have Telegram account at Chris Mind at Telegram. You guys can write me. Just please don't harass me with poetry and 5-page messages, and try not to insult me because I'll just block you. But if you have like a precise questions, if you want to hear something, I can answer. I prefer to answer those questions in a public group so everybody hears my answers. But if really something burning, me too at Chris Mind. I check my messages several times per day.
Okay, clear. So we will wait for
Thanks.
the $100, right?
$100. Well, mathematically, it should be more than that, but you cannot really announce
Yeah,
it
you
like this
cannot say
because
that, right? Yes.
I cannot say that because you see, Tectum token was designed for the sole purpose of minting SoftNotes, but in a dollar equivalent. So if SoftNote is 100 USDT worth, it's gonna cost you $1 worth of Tectum token. So if
Yes.
token is $1, you will spend one Tectum token. If token is $100, you will spend 1% of Tectum token. If token is $1,000, you will spend 0.1%. So your SoftNote minting fee is not affected by token market price, which allows Tectum token to grow up indefinitely. And since
That's
the
amazing.
emission is only since emission is only 10 million tokens, we're expecting utility of Tectum token to drive its price up, because eventually, when we launch SoftNote Merchant and SoftNotes will become in demand, the only
Yes,
way
then we
to
can
start
pay in shops, right?
then you can pay in SoftNotes. Yeah, you can pay in Bitcoin,
Yeah, in
SoftNotes,
every
USDT,
shop.
in I wish. Yeah, we're gonna have to go country by country, I'm afraid.
But if that will happen, then it will trade at 1,000, I think.
You know, I wish it trades at 1 million. You know, but who cares what I wish? Markets.
Being a CEO, and we're all very happy with how everything is going.
You know, I wish I had a well-spoken and English guy speaking for the company. Unfortunately, human beings are designed in such a way that the only thing they care about is themselves. We are
It's
egotistical
nice to hear
creatures.
from you directly.
Exactly. So for the time being, I will be CEO since it's my business. I mean, I'm an owner. I own the business. I'm liable for this business. I'm responsible for every actions devs take. And when devs make mistake or marketing team makes mistake, I take a hit. Boris, I take a hit. Nobody's gonna bitch. Nobody's gonna bitch at my devs. They're gonna bitch at me. I'm ready for that.
Good said.
Yes, sir.
Is it true that I don't know the English word right now, that the technology of Tectum originally came from a sea tanker or something like that?
It's a really, really, really exciting story. Submarine, yeah. In the late 80s, when first computers started getting, like, I'm talking about real computers, microchip computers, started getting implemented in hardware, such as submarines. The problem arose: what are you gonna do when you get hit by torpedo? Because salt water and computers don't mix well, as you probably guess.
Yes.
So they hired a group of software engineers, which one of them is my guy now. He's 68. He works in the
Really?
company. Yes, his name is Dimitri. I wish he spoke English. I would have brought him here. And he's a legend. And he was the zero access software engineer, and they were given a task to design a software which would keep electronics alive after part of the submarine is being filled with salt water and all circuits were shorted. So when, like, for example, a tail of a submarine gets hit by a torpedo or there is a leak and all computers are down, the other part is under control. So crew can survive.
So it's all rock solid technology, but we also thought that you were on that submarine. Everyone was talking about it.
Yes, yeah, I was around. I'm 1971, so
That's
that
amazing.
technology comes from 76, 78. No, I was not I was not part of this. But thank you.
Yes. Yeah, well, to me it looks like Tectum is just so fucking big. Oh, sorry for my cursing, but yeah, it's insane, man, what you're building.
No problem, man. No problem.
Thanks for everything, man.
Thanks. You're welcome. See you around, man.
Yes.
Enjoy your day.
Tell you,
Bye-bye.
I'm certainly informed. Boris, thank you for that. Hey, Alex, let's just check in here real quick. We are an hour and 15 minutes having this conversation here. There are a few more questions.
If guys have questions, I'm good. Just let's go.
Let's go. All right, let's keep it going. If anyone else does have more questions, they want to jump on and speak, now is your opportunity. Until then, just please feel free to either raise your hand or just start speaking. Alex is more than prepared. There's a couple more questions here that have come up in the chat, and there's a lot of them at this point, so I'm just going back. I know one of them was about some ghost wallet, Alex, and apparently there's been some investigation happening with scrolling up. I'm trying to find it here. Something about, was it a Mark or something along those lines, or a Mike? And just wondering if you guys have any updates on that, if that makes any sense at all. I'm trying to find the question.
Yes. Back in the middle 2023, we started working on integration of ERC20 network, and I'm talking about real integration of MetaMask and everything. And MetaMask would not accept our wallet format because we don't have E0X. Like all ERC20 wallets, they start with 0x, and
Yes, gotcha.
our native wallet addresses, they start from anything. They can start from digit 9, they can start from X, they can start from Z. They kind of Bitcoin wallets. So at some point in time, we rebooted our system, we terminated all old addresses, and the system gave error, so there was no deposits traced. Guys are in the process of fixing it. There is a gentleman named Michelle. Michelle, thank you if you're here. Michelle produced a couple of reports. I passed them to the devs. Devs are working on it. We are going to reward Michelle for everything he's doing for us. Thank you very much. And latest by the end of this week, give me 2 more days, but mid next week, we're going to produce exhaustive report. Everything will be restored. The records will be rolled back to the point of failure. If there was a failure, I believe there was a glitch in the system, and we apologize for that. But luckily, it did not affect anyone, and nobody lost any funds. It wasn't a hack. Everybody can calm down. There was no hack. There was no any unpredictable action taken. It's just a error, and it's actually database error because, as you know, Blockchain Explorer is a centralized entity. It's a database which pulls the data from a blockchain and lists it on a web page. And that's where we are fixing the error now. There is no ghost wallet. There is no such a thing as a ghost wallet.
I thought that seemed a little foreign. I figured, being in this space since 2020, I figured I would have heard of that before. I had not. And yeah, thank you very much for clarifying that, Alex. Now, this next question here, I'm going to completely blindside you. I know you've never had this question asked to you ever. So if you're ready, I'm going to ask you right now. Are you ready?
Hit me, man.
All right. When tier 1, tier 2 exchange listing?
Well, we are BitGet. That's tier. It's almost tier 1. I answered the first part of the question, and it's definitely tier 2. It's actually between tier 1 and tier 2. I believe it's number 5 today, BitGet. So it's in the first 5 biggest exchanges. The problem with listing on tier 1 is that tier 1 exchanges require more capital, more money to pump. It is not making any sense for us to invest another $1 million, because that's what it's going to cost to get listed on, for example, same Bybit. It's going to be about between 400,000 to 600,000 plus marketing campaign, plus announcements, plus everything. It's going to run us 800 grand. Okay, well, now you answer question. Now answer my question. What should I do? Dump that $800,000 into listing on yet another exchange without any guarantee of any significant effect? Or should I put that $800,000 into liquidity? What would you do if it was your project?
Sounds like a no-brainer to me. It almost sounds like that could be a rhetorical. I don't think that's a question at all. I think you would want to back your own project.
Exactly. It is much more. It makes more sense for us to invest into trading volumes by bringing more attention to the project. Exchanges like BitGet, which is huge. BitGet is huge. Mexi we have good decent volumes on Mexi, and decentralized exchanges, rather than get listed at $1.50, less than $1.50, get listed yet on another exchange and accomplishing what?
No, makes a ton of sense, Alex. I appreciate that. and I hope this adds some clarity to a lot of the people who've been continually asking this. And I understand it's definitely a trend in this space that it just seems to be that people automatically think these types of listings are going to make or break a project. Your reason is sound. So very much appreciate that, Alex. Excellent.
Thanks,
So I don't see any hands up. I don't see any fresh questions coming in. There are a few more up in the chat history that we can get to, but I did want to touch base with you, Alex, see where you're at, see how you're doing with time. And if you do have some time left, I have one more question here that we have some reactions to. So where are you at?
I am good with time. I've been waiting for this, and I love my community. We finally got together. It's okay. Let's go.
That's perfect, Alex. Okay, it was updates about the partnership that you made in UAE. Just wondering if you have any updates on that. The question specifically is, can you provide an update on the UAE pilot program? His excellency, what specific role does he play in SoftNote's adoption, and how does this partnership align with Tectum's expansion?
His name is Khalfan Al Mazroui. He's part of quite a prominent family in UAE. They've been around for 700 years. So it is an honor for us to work with the guy. And we are actively communicating. We have pulled some strings with a bank. We recently opened a commercial account with one of the most dynamic and innovative banks in UAE. It's M Bank, Mariam Bank. And this is the bank who just recently got licensed for digital AED. If everything goes right, we're not going to need a banking license to form our first synthesis node. We can just use a stablecoin. You see, previously, the original idea of synthesis node was comprised of an idea of issuing our own stablecoin or any variation thereof, or some derivative, because UAE did not have their own stable coin. Now that UAE has their own stable coin, why would they go and a banking license to deal with digital fiat currency? Because Synthesis Node, Synthesis Dirham would be comprised of 3 wallets: digital dirham, Bitcoin, and USDT. Now it became simpler than that. Now we have dirham, stablecoin, which is ERC20 token, wrapped BTC, also ERC20 network, and ERC20 USDT. Now we can put all these 3 tokens in a proportional amounts in one wallet, which simplifies the process of creating and managing Synthesis node by 5-fold. So that's where we're at with Synthesis node. And then keep in mind, there's Ramadan right now. Not eating and not drinking for 14 hours is an act of heroism. The activity has slowed down. We got to respect that. It's their culture. And things have slowed down for a time being, but we hopefully will be happy with some news in April or May in respect of Synthesis node partnership.
And if that doesn't answer that question, I'm not sure how that can possibly be accomplished, because not only did you dive into exactly what the work is that you're doing together, but a very understandable timeline as well. So thank you very much, Alex. So there was one. This right here.
Did I answer or did I not answer your question?
You did. Yep, you absolutely did.
Okay.
It's a question that we had from the community. From
Can I ask a question? Sorry.
Of course you can.
Thank you.
That's what I'm here for.
Sorry
You're welcome.
to interrupt if you were going to ask another question.
No, please go ahead, Jag. It's all yours.
Perfect. Thank you. So I wanted to ask, obviously, at the moment, with regards to Tectum, the main demand for the T12 token is from the SoftNote side of things, for minting SoftNotes, correct?
It's a very good question. In order for me to answer that question, I'm going to have to shed light on our 3 and 4 networks, because we have created a unique model where Tectum token freely migrates between, because Tectum token is needed at in4.0 network in order to pay for transaction. But when Tectum token migrates into 4.0 network, it becomes a native coin of Tectum 4.0 network. And you need Tectum token in 4.0 network. It's a public blockchain. first of all. It is a masterpiece in works, but it is gonna be a masterpiece. And you will need Tectum token in two instances. To become a validator node, which means when you download a node from a GitHub, you're just a client node. You can only conduct transactions and you can mint your own tokens. Well, not right now, but it's in the works. But as soon as you stake some of your balance of your wallet, you become a validator node. So staking mechanism kicks in and you become a validator on 4.0 network. And now you're getting paid for validating other transactions. So we are going to add utility to Tectum token in the close nearby future.
Yeah. So in the long term, as a Tectum holder, you'll be able to gain value via staking, but also as Tectum's going to be used for transaction fees on the blockchain, there'll be demand for people to buy Tectum to hold it in their wallet. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And then one final question, just comparing it to other big layer ones out there like Ethereum and Solana. Obviously, Ethereum makes a lot of revenue from high gas fees. Solana works on a more of a high transaction load basics with a low transaction fee. Where are we going to be in terms of our transaction fee in the future?
Predictable transaction fees. We're gonna look much more attractive to because our fee has a predictable structure, which is a 0.1%,
Okay.
but never exceeding one Tectum token. So that means even if you transfer 1 billion USDTs, you will still only pay one Tectum token in fees.
But then the problem is one Tectum token, if that's the ceiling, then the Tectum token price can always fluctuate. Like we mentioned earlier, I know Boris said it, that if we do get loads of merchants in loads of countries, the price could exceed 1,000.
Hey, that's the name of the game. Everybody wants to have profit in what
No,
they
of
do.
course, if you can make it that way and it's set to 0.1% of the fee, and you're able to do 3.5 million transactions per second, then that sets you apart from the crowd in a massive way.
To be frank with you, centralized, decentralized networks are designed in such a way that we're validating transaction more than one step. And when you have when you have two-tier validation model, kind of like us and Solana, which is the validator nodes and archiving nodes, dealing with latencies and app, because you need to sign a transaction and then you have to send that transaction to fill the block. So latency is something I have no control over. So fully decentralized networks are at this point, well, let me say like this, but I'm gonna have to get technical. Conventional validation models, validation decentralized models, like, I'm not gonna mention names like Solana, nothing, because these guys are been so good at what they do. There is no need for me to mention them in any kind of context because it's their business. We're doing our business. This guy's been great, and we did a great deal of learning from them. But at my opinion, as an engineer, 3.5 million transactions per second is a bit too much for decentralized network because you deal with latency. But when you send transactions in bundles, and by bundles, I'm talking about commercial transactions and mass remittances, you can probably reach even 5 million transactions per second. It depends on what method do you choose. You see, normally, transaction speed is measured by using a so-called burst approach. Burst approach implies that you do not count the wait time between the blocks. You only count the time when block closes. And let's say you have 100,000 transactions packed in one block. So therefore, block closes, for example, 2 seconds. So you divide that 100,000 by 2 seconds, and therefore you have 50,000 transactions per second. But that method does not take into consideration the wait between the blocks. And if wait time between the blocks another, let's say 7 seconds, you hear me?
Yep.
Then you add that 7 seconds to those 2 seconds, or let's say 8 seconds, because I want to make sure that everybody understands, because I'm trying to come up with like the easiest math possible. I'm trying to get it through to you because I've been working on this for several years. You add 8 seconds of wait between the blocks, because block gets compiled. It takes 8 seconds for block to get compiled. Per se, I'm being hypothetical, Jake. And you take those 8 seconds and you add it to the actual block process in 2 seconds. Now you have 10 seconds. Now you have to divide those 100,000 transactions per 10. Now, instead of 50,000 transactions per second, you have 10,000 transactions per second. Can you feel the difference?
Yes, I can understand. Yeah.
Yeah. The catch is that Tectum does not have a mempool, so we don't have those transactions piled up. We have one transaction equals one block.
Yeah.
Therefore, one block. Therefore, the process of calculating network speed is a little bit more complicated, because you can just do 2 transactions per 1 second, and you can tell me, Alex, your network only capable of doing 2 transactions per second. That's nonsense. You don't know what you're talking about.
Then I guess it all comes down to what you're targeting. Like you said, if you're targeting institutions and big amounts of money moving, there's less parties involved. Whereas if you're looking at smaller transactions and merchants, for example, Solana, when they had the meme coin hype a few months ago and Trump launched, and it's caused major congestion because there were so many small transactions happening in a small amount.
Exactly. You see, 3.0 network is really easy because it has an equal rate between the nodes. It is centralized, and the ledger is being written equally amongst the nodes. And while one of these nodes is being randomly picked to sign that transaction, which makes that network capable of writing, like, well, the biggest we did was 3.8, which is like, everybody freaked out. We thought we were going to do 1 maybe million, but we hit 3.8. I don't even know how that happened. It was so big for us. We realized that this is so big. With 4.0, it's going to go differently, because in order to calculate the true capacity of the network, you would have to activate and use, well, either at least 1,000 nodes and pack 1,000 transactions in every node. And just keep in mind, Jack, you're going to have to pay hard cash to conduct those transactions. And it's easy to talk, it's easy to blame, but if I tell you, hey, why don't you pack 1 million tokens and send 1,000 bundles from 1,000 nodes, tokens each, and see how much your fees are going to be? We are willing to do that as a team. And our marketing department came up with a really cool hackathon model where we would invite you guys, invite the community to stake your tokens, and we, at our cost, using our team tokens, will do speed tests, while you, as their validators, because you get paid. Yeah, you will basically get paid for participating in speed tests. But in order for us to do that, we have to write an app for that. In order for us to write an app for that, we have to stabilize consensus, because our consensus is very different from that of, for example, Solana or Algorand or other guys, because we have a kind of contender network competition between archiving nodes and validator nodes, because they guarantee their signature by their stake. Do you know what I mean? So if for example, validator signs fake transaction, node will discover that immediately, and node which made that mistake will be punished by loss of rating and by the staking. It will be deducted. The amount of fake transaction will be deducted from their wallet in order to refund the party that lost in this transaction. We believe that actually that's the primary reason why we delayed the release of 4.0, because we found that hybrid consensus model more incentivizing and more efficient because we actually created a competition between two tiers of validators inside the network. Other operators don't have that going.
Jag, did that answer your question? Any other feedback on that?
No, that's pretty much it, to be honest with you. The other thing I would have added was with regards to obviously other companies coming onto the blockchain and wanting to tokenize on Tectum, would they be required to hold TET to mint the tokens that they want to mint? Or
Well, they will have to not to hold that, they'll have to pay with that to mint SoftNote, because that's our primary revenue model. That's how blockchain will earn the profit reward.
Yeah, of course, that will bring the value to the token because they'll need it to
And
mint.
it will bring value to the token. Yeah, our job right now, Jake, is to add more utilities to Tectum token. Like, for example, last month we built a hardware which you team probably know very little about, but we did build our own hardware. It's called a random number generator. And this is the guy who sold $1.2 million phone to Sharon Stone. It's all over internet. You don't have to trust me. Just go to the internet.
No, I think his name was Keplov, was it, or something like that?
Yeah, Claire. He's a very unique guy. He's well known in UAE. In fact, he introduced me to.
If you have quantum resilient blockchain or quantum resilient features, it's going to be a big thing in the next, maybe decade and a half.
Yeah. Well, wait till you hear about 5.0 blockchain, which is going to be vectoral blockchain. It's going to be much simpler and much more efficient and much faster.
I look forward to it. Obviously, at the moment, I can understand people are frustrated because of the price action and what things have happened. Something that happened inside the team, something's happened inside of the whole of crypto, and Tectum's got off a bit worse for wear than most of the players. But sometimes, if you believe in the project, it's a good opportunity.
Thank you. I really appreciate what you just said to me. And if you look at the history of Web3 space and look at the same Solana and look at Tron, look how much these guys suffered for no reason. And every time you start investing in infrastructure, community revolves. I don't know why. I don't know what trigger is there. I'm not a Web3 professional. I'm not a professor in Web3 space. But as far as I know, and I read a lot. But what I see is, as soon while you're pumping your token and talking about brilliant future, everything is okay. As soon as you start investing in infrastructure, boom, fight starts. Oh, you guys are scammers. Oh, you guys are this. Oh, you guys are this. Oh, you guys are this. It's kind of like, I don't know why. Don't ask me. I don't have any answers for that. But every time, and we are not the only ones. Take any project. Because you see, at some point you have to invest. In some point you have to invest in infrastructure, or you will die. Remember Andy Grove, the guy who brought Intel out of bankruptcy? He said, adapt or die. Adapt or die. He's the guy who taught Steve Jobs. He's his teacher. He was his role model. He said, adapt or die. You know, and right now we have to adapt. Yeah, we have to adapt. We have to adapt because all you guys trusted in us. We have to adapt because we want to be successful. We have to adapt because we want our vision to be fulfilled. We have to adapt because we want what we want to be, what we started to be finished.
Yeah, that's fine. I might have a good contact for you to talk about regarding the tokenization of real estate that you were talking about earlier that the other company's doing, and also with
this prop chain we signed up with, they are planning on tokenizing real estate.
Yeah, there's quite a few companies out there looking to do it. Whoever can win the foot race will be very wealthy.
Yeah, it's called RWA industry.
Real world asset.
Yep.
Okay. Anyway.
Glad meeting
you. Have a nice day.
Yep. Thanks.
Jag, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today and asking those extremely insightful questions. I don't know about everyone else here, but I'm personally smiling from ear to ear, just even considering all the potential that Tectum certainly has right now. I'm also really appreciating the love that I'm seeing in the general chat also. Alex, I just want to mention to you live here that I think people are very much appreciating the time and the effort that you're putting in to this conversation and for fielding the tough questions and for speaking honestly and truthfully. This call was only supposed to be 30 minutes, and we are pushing 2 hours right now. And it definitely seems like
we'll do 30
appreciated.
minutes next time. It's the first one. Let it be.
Perfect. Hey, I mean, I'm down for however long. I am thoroughly enjoying this personally once again here, and it's an absolute pleasure to just go through these questions, have this opportunity to connect with the community, and yeah, make things good. As simple as that sounds here. So, unless anyone else does want to jump up and ask any final questions here, we should wrap this up pretty soon. There are a couple of older questions, and what I can promise is that I am taking these as notes so we can certainly field these questions. But honestly, 95% of the questions that have been asked, especially on numerous occasions, have been answered inadvertently through these incredible conversations that we've been having up here. So on that note, Alex, I just wanna give you the opportunity, if there's any closing thoughts that you have, any kind of final words to leave our community with, I'd love to give you the opportunity to do just that.
It would not be fair for me to give anybody investment advice, and it would not be fair on my side to finish this meeting with any kind of pep talk. But one thing I can share, and this is my personal experience, and it's a rule which never fails. When you put your faith in something, and when you go all the way, 99 out of 100, you win big. There is a fundamental difference in Tectum and some come and go projects. We've been around since 2015. I joined the project in 2018. I sold my real estate to pay people. I know what it's like to, and I'm not exaggerating here. It really is the true story for everybody to hear. So I am here to stay. And if I'm gone, that means I'm dead. And as long as I'm alive, this project will go forward and will prosper. This year is a infrastructure year. So it's going to be all about partnerships. It's going to be all about new properties for the system. And it's all going to be new applications and new projects connecting and joining us. 3 months from now, we're going to likely 3 months from now, don't hold me to it, but the roadmap says about 3 months, we're going to add financial services, payment processing to our 3.0 network, because 3.0 network is tested, and we need to keep commercial services away from 4.0 network, at least for now. I'm talking about commercial services. I'm not talking about minting. I'm not talking about community products. I'm talking about strictly commercial services, because green model is designed for mass wallet management, because SoftNote is the wallet management interface. It's capable to manage crypto wallets in massive quantities and transaction volume. And when this all happens, the truth will really get revealed, and the true shape of our business will be revealed to masses. And that's when it's all going to become visible. And it's your decision of people to really take actions which you're going to take, which you're willing to take. And emotion is not especially emotion induced by some third-party person you don't even know. Like this Boris guy said, where to find the Jason, which you can convince them to sell token. Emotions and money management are not compatible values. You need to really think and do your due diligence. So we're here to stay, guys, and stick around, and we will not disappoint you. Thank you very much for your time.
Emotions and money management are incompatible values. Excuse me, I'm just writing that down here.
They're incompatible. They can't, because emotion will always allow fear in. Either fear or either false inspiration. Both of them are equally dangerous to you.
100%. Greed and fear are the #1 portfolio killers. That is for sure. Alex, I just have to say, on a personal note here, I've been to a lot of AMAs. And when I say a lot, I certainly mean a lot. And the fact that you explicitly said at the beginning of your closing statement here that you're not going to end this off with a pep talk automatically sets you apart from 99.9% of all of the other AMAs I've been a part of. So thank you for that. In closing, friends, I just want to thank everyone so much for taking the time to join us here today. I see so many names that have actually been here for the entire 2 hours that we've been having this conversation, and truly appreciate your time, your energy, your interest, your passion. To all of our incredible questions that were asked, and to all of you who asked those questions, thank you so much. This has been such a fun AMA to be a part of. I certainly have learned a lot, and looking through the comments now, it seems like people have been very receptive to this. And I just want to also thank you, Alex, for taking the time, for going way above and beyond today, and just for taking the chance to connect with the community. I personally believe that this is what Web3 is all about, is exactly this. So, yeah.
Thank you.
It's been a
Thank you,
pleasure.
Trev. Thank you, Trev. You were,
Absolute pleasure.
you've been a blessing in lots of ways, allowing people to speak and being probably the best moderator I've ever worked with.
Good. Wow. Okay. Now I'm blushing a little bit. I really appreciate that, my friend. Honestly, that inspires me to work even harder and to just continue to help do what I can to push this project to the moon here. So again, not financial advice. So we are recording this segment here. So we will be distributing it as soon as we possibly can. And
that's actually a good thing, because yesterday somebody wrote in the chat, probably one of those guys, says, "Oh, they will not let us record it," and like, I don't have no idea why wouldn't we let you record it, but we definitely should post this.
Yes. Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. No, it was our last AMA together. That was my responsibility to record it, and I absolutely fumbled that. So I I made sure not to make the same mistake this time. So we will take advantage of that, and we will certainly make it accessible to as many people as possible here. So I think that was a wonderful call there. Pleasure. Excellent, everyone. Thank you so much once again. Oh, apologies, Alex. Say that again.
I said thank you too. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Excellent. So we're going to end this off here now, friends. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Have an amazing upcoming weekend, and stay tuned for more updates. Stay tuned for our next AMA, and we certainly have a lot of content and exciting updates coming at you guys very, very soon here. And once again, thank you all for your time. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Take care.
Take care. Bye.